Let's assume you suddenly remembered that you've locked the keys inside the car's trunk. What do you do next? To retrieve the keys to start the car, you must learn how to open a trunk without a key. Fortunately, there are a few methods for opening the trunk without a key. If you can enter the cabin, we discuss your best options. If not, we discuss your options. It's the Car Problems YouTube channel. Subscribe and let's get started. Find a spare key. You might have forgotten that you have a spare key somewhere amid all the chaos you are dealing with. If one of the remote key fobs has the trunk button on it, this extra set can help you open the trunk. If you lock your house keys in the trunk along with your car keys, the situation could get worse. This makes getting your spare more challenging. You might be able to avoid hiring a locksmith if you know someone who can bring you a spare trunk release lever or button. There is a button or lever inside your car that you can use to open the trunk. This is going to be your simplest option if you can enter the cabin. The majority of trunk release buttons can be found under the steering wheel, to the left of the driver's seat, or to the left of the driver. If that's not where you can find it, check your glove box. On the key fob of many cars is a trunk release button. If not, you should refer to the owner's manual for your particular car model to learn where it is. Use the emergency release. Although it's unlikely that you'll need the emergency release in this circumstance, it's still a good idea to be aware that it is a possibility. The emergency release handle was created to make it easier for you to get out of a car trunk. Read the owner's manual to become familiar with this cable. It might be inside the trunk lid, or it might glow in the dark. Pulling it ought to cause the trunk to open. Fold the back seats down. You might be able to lower the back seats in order to remove the keys from your trunk without using a release button. Some rear seats can fold down, which is useful for transporting larger objects. Set the seats down, then reach into the trunk for the keys. It can be a little dim inside the trunk, so you might need a flashlight to see clearly. Remove the trunk interior from the inside. You will need to take apart the trim on the trunk lid if you don't have keys or a way to open the trunk from the inside. Remove each component one at a time until the locking mechanism is exposed. To pop the trunk in this instance, you must disable the mechanism. Reinstalling all of the trim and paneling after you're done can be a hassle. Due to this, a lot of people skip over it and just call a locksmith. Using Slim Jim. Use a Slim Jim, also known as a lock pick, if you are locked out of the trunk in the car. Without the proper knowledge, you won't be able to use the Slim Jim on the trunk lock itself, but it might help you get inside the vehicle. Here are some ideas for next steps. Head to the car's passenger side window. The weather stripping and the car window should be separated by a wedge. Slide the Slim Jim slowly into the opening you've made. If the locks on your car are electronic, all you have to do is press a button. You have to physically raise it up with manual locks. You risk damaging the car if you don't use caution during this process. For that reason, if you are unsure of what you're doing, we advise moving on to the subsequent steps. Contact a locksmith. If all else fails, call a locksmith. For anyone who doesn't have much experience working with locks, we advise choosing this option. Depending on what needs to be done and where you are located, a locksmith will charge you differently. In addition, the price varies depending on the time of day, such as if an emergency arises in the middle of the night. Conclusion. In many circumstances, getting into the trunk without a key shouldn't be a big deal, especially if the car is already open. Knowing that many drivers would leave their keys in the trunk while unloading cargo, this situation has already been thought through. We immediately approach the lever that is installed in the front of the vehicle as professional mechanics. A spare key will also be the easiest to manage if that isn't an option. Otherwise, you'll need to do some work that isn't always suited for beginners. Hope the information was helpful for you. If so, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel.